Gogo, look at this. Look at this flying machine.
There's supposed to be a helicopter that flies upward.
This is the house I partly grew up in because my grandfather built it in 1960. Now my parents live here, and my kids know the house too because they love coming over and hanging out with their grandparents.
Oh, he's a wonderful dad. He's very, very devoted to those girls, and they adore him, as I'm sure you've noticed.
During his entire life, if there happens to be a hard task or an easy task, Seth always chooses the hard task. Exemplified to the extreme, perhaps, by his joining the Marines and then agreeing to serve 4 tours in Iraq.
I didn't know there would be a war. I graduated 3 months before September 11th, but after graduation, I was home here, still doing some summer jobs while I waited to join the Marines, and September 11th happened. I remember sitting in the den right over there and watching the news, just glued to the television. I wanted to serve. I wanted to do something to give back, and fundamentally, I just didn't want anyone to go in my place.
He had the courage to join the Marines. He had the courage to serve 4 tours when he didn't need to. He has the courage to speak out.
I've been willing to challenge the establishment for a long time. When I ran for Congress to represent Lynn against a 9-term incumbent.
He was certainly initially not expected to win. Honestly, it was quite a remarkable evening that we had.
Look, a lot of people want to ask the elephant in the room question, which is, okay, Seth, why are you running? And the answer is very simple. We can't afford to wait 6 more years for new leadership in our party, in our Commonwealth, or our country.
My youngest daughter is only 4 years old. Her entire life is less than 6 years. Trump is hurting a lot of people across Massachusetts, across America, and we can't wait 6 more years for more people to get hurt before we make a change.
So that's what this race is about. It's about the status quo versus the future. It's about the establishment versus a new generation of leaders.
It was my first reaction when he said he was running for Senate. It's great. Once again, volunteering to be in harm's way.
Trust me, there have been a lot of times when I've thought, like, why keep doing this? It's not fun. It's not often rewarding. The system is corrupt. But I keep doing this because of my kids, because this is about serving your country. It's about being willing to put yourself out there when we need to make things better. When I hear people across Massachusetts say that they're scared, sometimes the first thing I say is, I'm scared too. I'm scared for my kids. But courage is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to do the right thing in spite of your fears. And that's why I want to continue to serve.
Every nation makes promises. The measure of a leader is who shows up when those promises are about to break. In the summer of 2021, as Afghanistan fell, I watched one man show up. My name is Omar Rafiq, and I am an American by choice. In 2005, at 14 years old, I came here through the green card lottery, and Massachusetts adopted me. The values I learned right down the road at Worcester State carried me through more than a decade as a Marine officer and straight into the chaos of Kabul. During the evacuation, my team had one mission: get innocent people out. In the 2 harrowing weeks to follow, I saw young Marines save thousands of lives. And then I saw something I will never forget. Seth Moulton appeared in Kabul. To the bureaucrats in Washington, he had no business being there. But what almost no one knew was this: Seth hadn't just come for oversight. He had come for one family, a father, his wife, and their little girl being hunted by the Taliban. A rescue that began at the kitchen tables of Marblehead, ran through Seth's office, and ended at the gate where my Marines were waiting. When he got home, he didn't stop. He got my number and we work day and night to bring more families to safety. Because that is who Seth is. He is a leader who cannot walk past a broken promise without trying to fix it. Our generation is searching for leaders who carry both the courage of a warrior to bring us through the dark and the empathy of a healer to bring us back together. Seth Moulton is both. He has always put country before self, so let's put our faith in him and send him back to Washington to continue to fight for the Commonwealth. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Monica Bowman, and I am an entrepreneur, education advocate, clergywoman, former elected leader, and proud supporter of Seth Moulton. As someone who wears maybe too many hats, I see firsthand the urgent need for next generation leadership in business, education, and the ways in which our communities are built. We are living in a world where technological advancements are outpacing policymakers' ability to govern them, leaving our communities and children vulnerable. We deserve Senate leadership prepared to meet this moment with vision, courage, and accountability. I know what it means to show up for people. And I know that when a system is not producing the outcomes we need, you do not tinker at the edges. You build something better. This is why this moment calls for Democrats who are not simply defending the status quo, but actively building the future. Seth has already been doing this work. Through Service America, he has helped flip 24 seats from red to blue by recruiting and uplifting the next generation of leadership within the Democratic Party. Massachusetts must be future ready too, and that requires leadership grounded not in caution, but courage, not in rhetoric, but results. For Seth Moulton, he is fighting for communities, our democracy, and the future our children deserve. And that is the kind of leadership we need in this moment.
Good afternoon. My name is Jimmy Vaughn. I am the business manager of Plumbers Local 12. I represent over 2,500 members, each of whom are part of something larger, something that gave us the weekend, fair wages, and dignity. They are part of a union. I worked for 30 years as a rank-and-file union member. I know the reality that too many workers face. Laid off for months, struggling to support families. I know because I've been there. I am what I am because of the simple truth. When working people stand together, we win. We aren't promised anything, we fight. And I know a fighter when I see one. That's who Seth Moulton is. Working people are being squeezed right now. Costs are going up, wages are not keeping pace, and too many politicians side with the bosses when it counts. Seth doesn't. In Congress, he fought for infrastructure investment, worker protection, and affordable health care. That's why I'm so proud to support Seth Moulton for U.S. Senate. We need leaders who stand on the picket line, leaders who won't cave to corporate lobbyists, leaders who remember that every policy decision affects real people. So let's send Seth Moulton to the Senate and build a future where every worker has a voice, every job pays fairly, and every family can thrive. You've heard us tell our story and why Seth is a fighter. Now hear it from him directly. Seth Moulton.
Now, a guy like Moulton, I don't know who he is. I don't think I ever met him, but he's a loser. I mean, I watch him on television. He's a total loser. A guy like Moulton, I don't know who he is. A guy like Moulton, I don't know who he is. I mean, I watch him on television.
The president acts like a petulant child. I mean, I don't know what senile, delusional world Trump is living in. Every American I've heard from is embarrassed. Most people can see that Donald Trump is dangerous.
This is the difference between Iran and Vietnam. Trump had a plan to get out of Vietnam.
The president is totally unhinged. He was tired, he looked senile, and he sounded just totally detached from reality. He's obviously in the Epstein files.
You should know better.
I think you should apologize for defending the administration when they call these protesters domestic terrorists.
What is your position on ICE as an elected Democrat?
It should be abolished, but also it should be prosecuted. This is Gestapo-type stuff happening in the streets of America.
Let's be honest, he's a racist. He doesn't like black or brown people coming into the United States.
You're saying there are some Trump officials who need to go to jail when this is all said?
Absolutely. Kristi Noem, too. We're not just going to let you ride off into the sunset with Corey Lewandowski. You need to be prosecuted for breaking the law.
I'm a bit frustrated. Americans are a bit frustrated. You guys frustrated too.
Donald Trump's administration is great if you're a billionaire in America. We need to help working people in America and expand the middle class, not make the rich richer. So that's why we need a wealth tax. Every gas pump in America should have a sticker next to it that says, Donald Trump, I did this.
No big decision.
I don't get tired. Do I look tired?
Please welcome United States Congressman Seth Moulton.
Massachusetts. Hello, Worcester. We are in the fight of our lives because America as we know it is on the line. And the status quo playbook has failed us time and time again. Sometimes when I tuck Emmy and Caroline into bed, they ask if there are any monsters out there. And the truth is that there is a monster, and he's in the White House. And I will not rest until he is behind bars. I was the first in this race to call for abolishing and prosecuting ICE, and I will not rest until they are behind bars as well. I am standing up to Pete Hegseth to stop this administration's reckless and illegal wars. And I will keep fighting to prosecute Trump and his corrupt cronies who are stealing from you and profiting off our government. Donald Trump has done more damage to our country than any enemy, foreign or domestic, since the Civil War. To win this fight, I am bringing a new generation of leadership and a new playbook to the Democratic Party. We cannot afford to wait 6 more years for change. Because this is not a time to think small. No, this is not a time to think small, Democrats. This is not a time to talk about incremental change or to look at the midterms as just a chance to barely scrape by and win back the House. No, this is a time for Democrats to go big, to start anew and to lead with courage. Our party has done this before. From the ashes of the Great Depression, Democrats delivered the New Deal. After World War II, Democrats built the global architecture of peace, from NATO to the Peace Corps. And even in the dark days of Vietnam, Democrats led with radical ambition to put a man on the moon. So let's go big together, Massachusetts. First, that means I will not vote for Chuck Schumer for Senate leadership. You cannot promise next generation leadership while supporting the same status quo establishment in Washington. Second, it means going on offense everywhere. That's why I founded Serve America, to recruit, mentor, and support a new generation of Democrats, helping us flip 24 seats from red to blue since 2018. That's how we build the team. And third, I am driving the most comprehensive affordability agenda in the country, planting our flag in the ground that housing, healthcare, and education are fundamental human rights. And we will pay for it by taking back Trump's tax breaks and loopholes and by passing a national wealth tax on mega millionaires. It's long past time for the Epstein class to pay their fair share. Let's empower the union class and the working class once again. Giving Massachusetts voters a choice this September proves that we welcome a vigorous debate on how to best take on Donald Trump and build the future of our country. It's time for the generation that grew up with the internet and will have to live for decades with AI to lead our way through it. And that is exactly why I am calling on Senator Markey today to have the courage to join me for more than one debate before voting begins. Let's show the country what a strong, vibrant Democratic Party looks like. I am asking for your vote today because I have the energy, the grit, and the determination to go toe-to-toe with the MAGA machine every single day and win. That means abolishing and prosecuting ICE. It means stopping Trump's reckless wars. And it means holding Trump and the Epstein class accountable for their crimes. Let's go, Massachusetts. Let's win together. Thank you very much.